Sean,
Yo, what up?
what up, bruh?
Ain't much, man. How you feeling?
I'm good. How you?
I'm pretty good as well. Just watching this blowout game, getting ready for this Lakers Blazers.
Yeah. I'm gonna make sure we out of here before that go down. Make sure we out of there.
Oh, good.
And again, appreciate you tapping in with us this evening, taking time out to join us tonight. I guess the first thing I want to start off with is how did it come with the league cancellation? Like I know a lot of public places shut down, but like what was your thought process of canceling the league this summer?
It wasn't much of a thought process. It's like you knew it had to be done. You can't have a league going on and 1,000+ people in the gym for a league when you got this pandemic going on. So as much as I didn't want to do it, I knew it had to be done. So thought
Okay.
process was just like rip the Band-Aid off, get it over with. It's a done deal for the summer.
All right, got you. Were there any? I mean, I guess I kind of tell, by the answer you gave, but did you have any thoughts on bringing it in a different capacity, like maybe without a crowd or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely crossed my mind, but at the end of the day, our league is for the people. So having a league with no crowds, like it would have made no sense. It's for the community. So I decided against that quickly.
Okay. Um, and then again, this is something I just want to know personally. Would you do something? Would you hold it in the winter if there was a time, or would you just go ahead and wait till summer 2021?
Summer 2021. Like
Got you.
that's what it's about, man. It's a summer league for a reason. So that one did not even cross my mind, honestly. So
Okay.
yeah, definitely summer only.
Got you. All right, so let's go ahead. Tell us about some of your basketball background.
I've just been around the sport my whole life. So my father was a coach in the DC area.
Okay.
So was my Uncle Mike. My Uncle Mike was actually a coach for DC Assault. So I grew up around guys like Keith Bogans, DeMar Johnson, James White, people like that. As far as me hooping, I was nice in summer leagues, never in high school. I think a big part of that was, like I said, I grew up around real coaches, and I went to Forest Park. And so Forest Park High School in Baltimore, it wasn't no real coach, it wasn't no real basketball team, and I was very vocal at a young age. So he ain't bang with me. So I really got no PT. Like summer leagues, I would average 15 to 20, but Forest Park, I did not get into the game. I talked too much, and he was like, "Yeah, you ain't playing for me. You gonna be on that bench." So I actually my junior year I played for the fun of it. Senior year I quit. I was like, all right, I get it. You don't rock with me because I'm too vocal and I tell the truth, so I quit.
Got you. But you went on to play at CCBC, right?
No, BCCC, I ran cross country. Like I run as well.
Okay,
So
okay.
my thing was basketball, baseball, and running. And by the time I got to BCCC, it was like I really ain't care about nothing except for my family, making sure they was good. So I was more focused on working. But the opportunity presented myself, it worked with my schedule where I could run cross country. I was like, man, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna have fun with this. And I still would hoop with everybody on the basketball team, like Sean Ford, that's my guy. But as far as me actually being on the team, nah.
Got you. And I was reading, of course, the article Undefeated, Baltimore Sun articles, and you spoke a lot on showcasing the positivity in Baltimore. Can you talk about how much that means to you?
It means everything to me. When you hear about Baltimore in a national spotlight, it's negative. Oh, that's the home of the Wire. It's really like that, right? The negative. That's all you really hear. So
Sean, you still there? He got a call coming through or something. No, you good.
damn phone calls.
I figured that.
Yeah, like I said, to have ESPN pull up of all people, like ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, pull up, and to have a national story showcasing the positivity we have and how we bring together everybody with sports, that was definitely a big deal for me. And now I'm looking to take it a step further. The plan was to do it this summer, obviously, but plans change. So next summer, hopefully I can take it beyond the basketball court. I want to do so much more in the city.
Got you. And the thing, you built such a big platform with it. You definitely have the resources and support to definitely take it beyond the sport of basketball for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping actually sticks around. You know, when people talk about it, yeah, that's one thing, but I need to see that action. So when
Yeah,
time comes for the action, I'm hoping all those people that talk about wanting to make a change and being there if I need them, I hope they really are about that.
I think you'll definitely have it. Tell me about so like it's putting a league together is tough. Like that's a tough thing to do. Tell me about like what were like some of the thought process or some of the early things you looked into before going forward with the Brunson League.
Early thought process was pretty much just to have a league for me and my guys. Like I told you, like I said, I didn't play anymore by the time I got to college, but I still love the game, you know. So I was
Yeah,
looking for something to do. And I played in multiple leagues throughout the city and I talked to different people. And I was like, you know what? I got this idea that maybe we can make your league better. So how about we do this and do that? And it was mainly, you know, like older guys. And they're like, yeah, nah, I'm setting my leagues. We good with my league here. We good
yeah,
here.
yeah,
And it's like, yo, you paying money for a league in which it's a T-shirt. If you get anything, you get a T-shirt with like, you know, the number iron on the back, and that's it. So I was like, man, I'm gonna do my own thing and see if the people actually react to it. So year one, it was like me, you know, a couple of my homeboys, and then people who brought their teams that I didn't know. But out of the 8 teams I had, 5 of those teams were people that I knew, just my friends. A couple of people from BCCC, and then, you know, like 2 teams of people I did not know at all. They just saw stuff on the internet or word of mouth, and they joined in. So the growth of it really is what caught me off guard. Like
mhm,
after year one, I really saw it being something major in the long run. Like, you know, maybe year 10 or year 15, I could see it being like a Drew League, Goodman back in his heyday, all that type of stuff. I never imagined that by the time I hit year 5, I would be loaded with pro after pro after pro after pro. But that came with me doing things, number one, doing things the right way, being transparent, open and honest, always talking to these guys. The word of mouth goes a long way. It's like the oldest
yeah,
yet greatest form of marketing.
yeah.
So I mixed that old school with the new school with creating the websites and keeping track of all the stats. And guys like, yo, they're doing all that. And words get out quick. So everybody started to hop on.
Yeah, I think that was one of the biggest differences. You know, looking at a lot of the leagues, like what you're doing is tough. It's tough to keep up with all the stats, all the players, all the highlights. So adding
Mm-hmm.
that is just like you said earlier, the older guys, they were stuck in their ways. Like, no, it's not like that anymore. You got to have visuals, you got to have stats, you got to have all that to keep people
Yeah.
engaged with it when the game's not going on.
Yeah, and it's something like, I guess to others maybe it'll be, you know, extremely tough. For me, it's tough at times, but it's another part of my big passion when it comes to athletics. Like my homeboys reminded me that when I was a kid, man, I was putting together leagues for like us on Sega Genesis, like NBA Live '95 and all that. I was putting together leagues with that. So now it was just like a grown man version of that for me. So it's not a big deal. I love it. I'm always creating new things, new ideas, new ways to keep everybody engaged. So I'm
Yeah,
just doing what I naturally do. I was meant to do it.
got you. Let's talk about like now the league is constantly growing. But let's talk about like in the beginning, like what was the first host jump for the Brunson League?
First whole gym was Baltimore Junior Academy, like
Okay.
right across the street from West Coast Spring Station. So it's like this little gym where like I don't even know what the floor is made out of, but she got those like blue tile floors that you may find at some elementary schools.
Yeah.
Like not no real court, like it was
Like
something like that.
like you at camp, the
Yeah.
camp. Yeah.
But like for me, like for my eyes, for my vision, it was like that gym, despite how terrible it was, that gym was like Madison Square Garden in my eyes because like, it was mine. It was like
Yeah.
the start of something major. I could feel it from day one. So for me, even though the gym was crappy, I was like, man, this is love. I love everything about it. And it's no telling where we're going to go from here. All I needed to do was get my foot in the door, which I have now done. So let's see what happens.
Gotcha. Got you. And what can you talk about like some of the struggles you went through in the first, 2, 3 years? Like what were some of the obstacles you had to overcome to keep the league going?
Still struggling now.
I mean,
But
yeah, it's
no,
always a struggle, but I know like starting
yeah,
off is different. It's different when you
yeah.
first start.
Of course, the main thing was finding a gym. So another thing is like you got these people again. They don't care about community. They care about money. So it would be so many people that's like, yeah, I like the idea. I'm gonna charge you X amount of dollars. And it's like, yo, where did you even get that price from? Like, it's me and, it's 18, that's it. And you
Yeah.
charging up the ass for no reason. But you just saw an opportunity for money. So I went to different gyms. It was getting turned down, left and right. But at the time, I was actually in my senior year at Morgan State. So Morgan State is legit like a straight shot from where I used to live. I would just hop on Cold Spring from West Cold Spring to East Cold Spring. So I rode past the gym every day and never thought about it. And then like one day coming from class, I just happened to look to my right and go, man, I wonder if they actually have a basketball gym right here. So I get out, I walk in, I talk to the guy, and he's like, oh yeah, I didn't have anything with me, just a regular conversation. So his name is Pernell Jones. His name goes on my championship trophy every year because that's how much he means to my league. Like if it wasn't for him, there'd be no Brunson league.
That's
So
respect. That's respect.
yeah, like I walked in that gym and I didn't have a portfolio, none of that with me. It was a 30-minute conversation. He said, yeah, I got you. Don't worry about payment. It'll be something cheap that you can afford. Let me know what you can do. And I just took it off from there. But aside of that, from that point up until now, it's always the same thing. It's the money. Because since changing gyms, with him being somebody who saw my vision, saw I wanted to do something positive for the city, and he was in that exact same boat. Since I left that location, almost everywhere I've been, I had to deal with the greedy people, in which they, come here, we see the vision. Nope, it's about money. Money.
Trying to tax you.
So, and don't get me wrong, I get it. Like, money is necessary, but it's the difference between what you need and then charging something that you want to pad your pockets. You feel me? When you don't care about doing it for the right reason, you hurting everybody. So I've had to jump from gym to gym, and times I thought I was in great situations, like going to BCCC. Again, I'm a graduate at that school. The athletic director, she brought me up there, and it was no problem. 2019, I thought we were going back. She leaves and gets an AD job in like Ohio somewhere. The school also got a new president. The new president, turns out, does not care for athletics at all. Came through, did some investigating, and apparently things with the athletic program weren't up to par. She shut down the whole program and said nobody would use this gym. And this was like 2-3 weeks before the season was about to start.
Damn.
So that's why last month was crazy. That's why I was at St. Francis and Digital and Poly, like being bounced around because it wasn't part of the plan. And then to go to a Baltimore City public high school, I didn't know that they charge you the amount that they charge, man. Like, they talk about, you bring a crazy crowd, and Baltimore people, they get reckless, so therefore we're going to charge you this amount. And that amount was over $10,000 than what I'm used to charging. So mind you, I did not have time to roll that into my fees for the league either. So I just paid for that out of pocket. It was like, yo, it's either I'm going to keep this money out or it'll be no league. So I had to bite the bullet.
That's tough. That's crazy, man. You would think like people, especially people in the school system, like they always talking about positivity for the community. So you would think
that's what they talk. That's what they do.
Yeah, that's wild that they would tax, for something like that.
Yeah, man. Like even stuff like being at Digital. So Digital was a spot I thought I was going to be at because my man Higgs, aka Davon Usher, he's the head coach at Digital. Yeah. But his AD has more power than him, and AD was an older guy. Again, just hating for no reason. He like, man, you know how long it takes to get a permit? It takes months. You won't be able to get it done in time. I got the permit like 2 days later. I go back to the school. I walk in. I give it to the principal. And I thought we were good to go. And we were good to go from week 2 all the way up until the weekend of the Final Four. Davon called my phone on the morning of the Final Four games, spazzing out. Like, I couldn't even understand what my man was saying. Like, yo, what's going on? He like, AD stripped the court. I said, what? He said, yo, bro, the AD stripped the court, turned his phone off, and went to New York. So I'm on the phone trying to find a gym within a matter of like 5 hours for the Final Four games. And
that's
thankfully, my guys, Sam Brand, the head coach at Poly, and his associate head coach, Fitz, they looked out for me. It's like, man, just come down here. So that's why I ended up having a spot for the Final Four, thankfully.
It all worked out. Like those are type but Coach Sam and Fitz, like they in the community, like they know what it means to have it. So it's like it's a deeper understanding than what the average person would.
But yeah, even that wasn't even easy because they understand. But the principal, so they gave me the green light, and I'm about to post, hey, we going to Poly, And right before I hit post, you know, I get a phone call. You're like, yo, the principal tripping, yo, she need to talk to you. So it's like, damn, yo, more issues the last minute, man. This can't get much worse. And so about, I think it was like 2, maybe 3 hours before game time, everything was finally settled. And it was like, all right, we're going to Poly. And I threw it up.
Got you. And see, that's the thing. Like, I'm glad we're having this conversation because that's the thing. Like some people think about it, like in the sports world, but the average person coming, they not thinking about what it's taking to get this done every single summer.
Yeah. Man, average person is just thinking in their mind, okay, you got NBA guys, you got all the overseas pros, you got the big names. Oh, man, yo, this is easy work. Hell no. Like, this is stressful, but I do it for the city, so there's no way I would stop doing it.
That's respect. That's respect. Can you tell some of the players who you think helped scale the Brunson League in the first few years?
Oh, in the first few years?
Mm-hmm.
From year one, my man Alvin Parker, like, he's still playing in the league.
Mm-hmm.
He came in, as a matter of fact, he came in with the replacement team. So I had a team in which they were struggling financially. So, you know, I tried to help them out. And after week 1, they just backed out and left the league. I'm like, all right, so now I'm stuck. But Alvin came through out of nowhere with his squad, and they joined the league. At the time, he was playing college ball in Canada at the time. And Alvin was just like, that was my first time seeing somebody like him, like attitude crazy, dangerous with the handles, like an awesome leader on the court. So they was running through my league because he had some players. Like I said, at the time, my first year, it was mainly like my friends and a couple of real players. He came through with a team full of players that was at a different level. So, ironically, like even with all of that, we get to the playoffs, they're undefeated. Obviously, they're going to be the favorite to win it. My league meant so little. They did not show up for the playoffs. They didn't show up at all. Like, they ain't care. I think they played their leadership or something, man. Like, ain't nobody care about the Brunson League. I'm like, damn, yo.
Hey, that's the humble beginnings. That's the humble beginnings.
Most definitely. It's all part of the story, you feel me? So, like, he was a major one. Aside from him, the name of names, hands down, Devin Coaston. So, he's the one that caught the attention of Will. Like, he's the reason Will joined the league. So at the time, a lot of people in the city was calling him DC 63 because he had a game in which he dropped 63 points. And I'm not talking about, you know, it's a smaller gym. So 3-point line is not, you know, a big 3-point line, you know. But he pulling up from half court going crazy with ease. I've never seen a shooter like him in person. I didn't have a camera crew at the time. There was no video. But it's like the whole city still found out. Like, that's how much people were talking about his performance. So I would say from the rip, they were the 2 biggest names.
Yeah, that's when my boy Jabari, he was sharing. He used to share him, and that's when I got hip to the Brunson League. Like, he was shit. Whoever had the phone, it looked like a Nokia, but you could see him smoking people. That clip was going around for a minute, and I was definitely watching it, getting hip.
Most definitely. Oh man, I'm looking at the comments right now. So my man Marcus Benson is on here. What up, Mark? So when I told you, my teams is mainly people that I knew. At the time, I worked at Nike. And Marcus actually worked at the store as well. And like, he was like the man at Nike. Anytime he was in there, everybody, oh my God, Marcus at work. So Marcus actually is the reason I had 3 of my teams. 3 of my teams came from that store, and a big part of that was because of him. Like, I was new to the store. They knew him. He was like, yo, my man doing something special. Like, let's hop out there. It was like, all right, bet. And it was
That's love. That's love. And I remember when you was at Nike, I was up there. That's when I moved out this way, and I had on the 6-man shirt. You was like, "What you know about that?" I was like, "Man, that's me." And then that's when I was like, "That's me." Like,
like yo, I'm so big with sports all around, from the grassroots level to the NBA. It's like when I saw that shirt, I was like, "Yo, yeah, that's what I said. What you know about it?" He was like, "Yo, I'm the man behind the cam." I was like, "Oh, all right, bet." You feel me?
That's. I mean, like, just. It's just crazy how, like, things happen, but, like, I remember just coming out there that first summer. I think when I first came out, he was at the UA house that my first summer going, and it was just like, that thing used to be packed in there. It was crazy.
Oh, yeah. Like, it was insane. That's when, you know, the bleachers were on the one side of the gym. And it got crazy so fast, man. Like, that first week, it's like, all right, this gym is really too big for my league, you know. And then by week 4, week 5, it was like, yo, this gym is not big enough. Like, it changed so fast, man. Like, that was the year that set it off, because that was, like, you know, like Will Barton's first year. And of course, with him showing up, a lot more pro players from overseas now and all that begin to show up as well.
Yeah.
This is also, unfortunately, it's the year after Dev was killed. So a lot of people was pulling up for that as well, showing their respects and checking out the squad he played with. A part of that was Stanton Kidd, who at the time was not who he is now. Like, he went crazy that year and brought a lot of attention to himself. Like, it was all eyes on him that year. And that was like the beginning of his development and his growth to the point he got to the NBA, you know, that stint with the Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
It was just, it's all been fun, man. The whole journey has been amazing to me. And it's even more amazing to think about the fact that I'm just getting started. Like, you know, these leagues like the Drew has been around for like 45 years. And I think Goodman's been around for like maybe 35 or something like that. Like, whenever we get a chance, hopefully next summer, you know, to come back, it'll be year 7 for me. That's it.
Yeah. And like, honestly, like, when I first started coming up, my boys was like, I was just moved on this side. And they were like, you think that league better than every other league? And I was like, just to be honest with you, it is. Like, the atmosphere, the environment. Like, I just had to be real with my boys from back home. Like, it is like, it's like, I don't know if you've been down Watts, but like, y'all got the Watts feeling inside of a gym, and that's crazy to do. And I was just like, bruh, when you go in there, like, you just feel it. Like, you feel the competitiveness, the electricity in there. Like, it's just wild.
Yeah, man. Speaking of Watts, you know, of course, RIP to Big Jeff as well. Like,
Yeah,
a big fan of that. That's Summer League basketball. And then you talk about, you know, that DC field. When I think, not I think, 2017, that year, UA House, you came with Sam and them, with Sam's Ballers. That was my first DC team.
Yeah,
Sam and them came in there, and they was wrecking some stuff, man. Like, they made a lot of noise. It's like, they was the most hated, but it was because it was a DC team. You know, people hated that they loved them secretly. You know, like Mo Creek,
and
J
then you
Dub,
know,
like, all them guys.
Mo Creek, Dub, Tay, all them, and you know, like Sam love that type of stuff. When you start talking that trash, Sam all for it, so it just makes it that much better.
Yeah, like, and you posted, like, you know, talking about how crazy that game was. I think you posted it last week or maybe this week. The game between him and Al. And it started on social media, and it just went to another level. And it's like, damn, that is like the first. I thought it was gonna be a rivalry. It wasn't. It was just, you know, that one game. But that one game was heated. It was insane.
Alvin, he was gonna smack it. Bruce was out there. I think that's when Sam had bought Bruce. He tried to bring everybody out there that game. Yeah, Bruce up there.
Yeah. Like, Bruce, like, okay, so you talking crazy? Bet I'm bringing my whole squad. What's up? Well, I absolutely love Sam for that, man. Like, he could easily be the most hated pretty much wherever he goes. Like, you talking about, what's Sam? Probably good 6'8", maybe 6'7", maybe. I'm gonna give him too much, maybe. But big dude, you feel me?
He gonna run his mouth every time in there.
But his players gonna back it all up. So you go and hate him.
Yeah. Let's talk about like the league expansion. So like now you're saying like, okay, Sam came up and then Drew came up. Let's talk about how the league started growing. You got to the point where you had to start turning down teams because of just too many. Yeah,
that started around in 2017 as well. Like, so I maxed my teams out. At that time, I believe I maxed out at 16 teams, if I'm not mistaken. But the following year, I was like, all right, I'm gonna max out at 20, so I don't have to turn. I can expand a little bit, and I won't have to turn teams away. Maybe one team, maybe two teams. Man, registration that year, I had 33 or 34 people fill out the forms. It was like, God damn, man. So then I had to take the top 20. So I came up with my own formula, which has worked so far, in which, you know, you got to fill out the roster. It's not like, okay, you just say, I got so-and-so on my squad and we in there. Like, nah, I didn't know what is their highest level of competition when you fill out the form for each and every player to give me like a composite score to figure out who has the best team. And I'll take my top 20 that way. Got you.
Is that, and I think that's one of the better things, because when I was telling my boys back on, I was like, think about the Brunson. It's a lot of good teams. And like, all respect to Miles and the Goodman and everywhere else, but it was just like, you saw it getting watered down year after year. And I was like, while everything else is getting watered down, Brunson is just getting more competitive at the same time. So that definitely made it stand out too.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that, because like that's one of my main things is why I didn't want to expand it. I mean, aside from the fact that that's a lot on me, because, you know, we talked about the stats and all that earlier. As you already know, like, I'm the one at the table for every game. So I'm doing the stats because another one of my passions. I'm a numbers person. So I'm front row at my own league, taking stats for basketball, what can be better, you know? But I don't want to have 24 and 26 and 28 teams. It'd be too much on me and to make it watered down. I've had
Mhm.
people saying, like, yo, you should have 12 teams. I'm like, yo, if I had 12 teams, you would have never met Sam's Ballers because it would have been Baltimore only. If I had 12 teams, you would have never had upsets that you would have in the first round, second round, and all that. You would have never met guys like Trevor Queen, who hopped on the team that I let in like last minute. Like, it's so many people that you would not have known. Oh, my God. And I think about it, Cam Taylor. Cam Taylor hopped on the team, you know, that's mainly like white guys that I knew. You feel me? So it was like a 15, 16 seed. But you know
Yeah,
about Cam Taylor because of my league and because I have 20 teams. It's
yeah,
more than just the famous faces and popular names. It's people out here that go hoop, and you're gonna see them if you pull up.
yeah. And then I think it really got crazy when people like the Sunday, all day Sunday, and people was like, nah, you can't wait till 3, 4 o'clock to try to go in there. Like they bumping at 11, 12 in the
Yeah,
morning. Like the minute the game start, they bumping. It's not no, let's get these games out the way. Like it's go time from first game to the last game. It's live in there.
yeah, and it's like those little things that make you realize that you're at a different level than even you think about until you actually either take a moment to see it or somebody points it out to you. So 2017, one of my homeboys pointed out, it was like, oh my God, the woman. When they start dressing like it's the club and they try to get chose, you got a big
Yeah,
event. So that's one
yeah,
thing. And then the other thing for me, it was like, 2018, again, ESPN come in, overtime hit you up. Can we come in? Can we do this? When you got people asking, can they come down? Like, okay, the league is definitely hot now.
uh,
Um, Also, 2017 as well, I realized I had people that would get there and they're there all day, just like I am. Like, I'm working, you feel me? You just want to see basketball all day. Like, you want to see this many teams, you got something good.
yeah. Fact. And that's like again going back to it from the first game to the last game. That's the best. You can't do that. You can't do that everywhere. You know, I used to cover
Right.
Ken that same. I started covering Ken that same. It sounds like you could do that some days, but it's like
Uh-huh.
it's really hard to find, especially with you, because it's like Kenner. They at Georgetown. They gonna have that's a given to have the college players and pros.
Right.
But like you just built it, and the college players and pros came to you, so that just made it a lot more different from my perspective. It just made it different.
Right. And again, like,
Um,
I'm not like a big name in the city. Like, I ain't played college ball and been
yeah,
overseas and all that. Like, nah, people just saw my heart. I hardly get on. I know it's probably people that's like looking at this now or that have looked at the live before. Like, okay, who the dude talking on the Brunson League page? Like, don't nobody know who I am, like, unless you really pay attention. I'm chills, man. So I just thank God that these people have actually seen my work and respected it, and these players keep coming back, and everybody wants to keep joining in. And I got to turn more people away because so many people are interested. Like, that's a blessing in my opinion.
in fact, and you made a good point. Like not having that rich basketball background playing, like people understand when you get into the sports world, that makes a big difference. Like you got to grind just a
Mm-hmm.
little bit harder because you can't just throw around your
Yep.
name and make stuff happen.
Yeah, and like I said, I grew up around it. So, even being from Baltimore, for me, it wasn't like seeing the AAU as far as Be More Elite and all those teams. Like, nah, like I said, my uncle was a coach for DC Assault. So
Mm-hmm.
I saw DC games as a kid when I was like 5, 6, 7 years old. My father would take me down. So you probably know about it, the Urban Coalition.
Yeah,
Like back in
yeah,
the day. Oh my
yeah.
God, man.
Everybody
Like,
was
that's when
there.
you had
Every
teams bumping, and Baltimore had a team that came down with Kirk Lee, Sam Cassell, and all that. And to see how crazy the crowd would be, I would be there when Penny Hardaway played and Nick Anderson played, and the crowd was like into it somewhat. It was cool. But the moment Sam Cassell and Kurt Smith got on that court for the following game, it's like everybody lost their mind. And that's when I realized, like, yo, some of basketball is a big deal. The NBA dudes was like,
yeah,
yeah, we see y'all, it's whatever. Oh, that's Kurt Smith going to get Sam? Everybody get your popcorn ready.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it was different.
yeah. From your perspective, your opinion, what are some of the best games or best performances so far within the league?
Best game. So if we go to, I'm gonna start with, since everybody realizes 2017. I'm gonna start with 2017, and I'm gonna say, damn near any game that Will Barton's team was in, like PTF, because he was getting the best shot from everybody. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah, like when he played against Sam's Bowlers in the chip, man, that was a tough one. leading up to that, playing against CNB, playing against DMV Warriors. It didn't matter who they met. One Love, whoever they matched up with, it was a battle. So all those games were tough. But aside from them, I would say, again, we talked about it earlier. So Alvin and One Love against Sam's Ballers. If I fast forward to 2018, both games between Drew All-Stars and FOE were instant classics. Like, those games were just crazy. I don't know what it is about them two, but they get together and they go at it, like trading punch for punch.
Yeah.
So
Jimmy came up there. Jimmy came up there with a little swagger to him too.
Oh, most definitely. Like, Jimmy came day one. It was on the highlight tape, man. Like,
yeah.
So he was another one that was tough, man. Like, and it's just so many games, man. I mean, game winners. Like 2018, I think the first 3 or 4 weeks, it was a game winner every week, including Omar Strong. I think that was the beat the DMV Warriors. I can't remember right now. But when he caught the ball and hit like a corner three over 3 people, like, that was tough. Cam in overtime with the game winner 3-pointer to beat PTF and Will Barton's team. Will didn't play, but he still beat that squad with scoring all the time.
Yeah.
Like, it's just been so many games.
Thank he had one too, I think, opening day that year.
2018, against Sam's Ballers. Same in a lot of classic games, man. That one was against Sam's Ballers. He hit the crazy shot, fading to the side out of bounds, and it was like cash.
Yeah. And so I think Mo Creek had hit a tough shot right before that, and then kid just came down, knocked it down. Like, that was wild.
Yeah, man. Oh, Dre, what up, Dre? Dre cooking here. Dre, he next up, hands down. Like how we say, like, Stanton was next up. Dre definitely next up too. Like, that's a problem.
Somebody, I think my boy Ryan was posting his highlights earlier. Free out. Yeah, he was posting his highlights earlier. Definitely tough.
Yeah. I'm hoping he on the actual team next summer. Like, man, he came through late last year, so he got on in the playoffs. Like, my rule for the playoffs, if you ain't playing the regular season, it's up to your opponent. So the team he played, I can't remember who it was, but they didn't know who Dre was, I guess. They were like, yeah, if he playing, that's cool. I'm like, oh, all right, bet. And I ain't say nothing. So let Dre get out there and do his thing. He helped lead the squad to a dub, But I think the week before, he was trying to play with L&D, with Stan. He was trying to play with Stan, and their opponent was like, oh, hell no. Stan and Dre, it's not happening. That was against game results, if I'm not mistaken. And then the following week, whoever they played, they was like, yeah, Drake can play. And that was it.
That's tough. So what has it been like? And we kind of touched. See, I told you when I sent you the questions how it go by so quick, right?
Oh yeah,
but, it never takes that long. But like we talked about this earlier, the feedback and support. What has that been like? Like you said, only going into year 7 when it returns. Like, what has the support been like for you so far?
The support has been insane, and the feedback has been insane. Because when I get so many people and they letting me know, like, yo, this league is so dope. It's like the best thing out in the DMV. And I'm like, in 2017, I'm like, okay, over Goodman. I'm like, yeah, over Goodman. Like, I'm a lot more confident now what I got going on, And then to be mentioned with Dykeman, to be mentioned with the Drew League and all these other like legendary leagues, it's just crazy. Like, so the feedback is great. The support is great. When I have these guys knowing and telling me these things, and in my mind, I'm like, okay, I give myself like a C+, because I know it can be better. It's just we got to get the financial backing. That financial support is what's major. Like, people don't realize the Drew League's been hot for years, but they had their struggles as well. When the lockout happened and LeBron showed up and KD showed up and Kobe showed up, Nike said, oh, here's a bag. There you go. So they've been good since then. We haven't had that yet. You would think, a lot of people would think, with us being in Baltimore, Under Armour would have been realized, okay, let's go ahead and back them. Nah. So
have they ever reached out? Have you ever heard from anyone from UA?
Yep, 2017. So 2017, they reached out, and they were talking a good game, and we're gonna try to have, Steph Curry come down, and this, that, and the third. And then when time came down to it, I got a package one day, and what they gave me was like some UA, what's some things called, them $4.95 basketballs and some socks. I'm like, this what we doing?
That's wild.
I'm not. So since then, I ain't really bang with them, man. Like, and I've noticed not a dog you ate, but the state facts. I've noticed they've hopped on stuff always after the fact. Like, why is it that you have multiple NBA athletes, but the UA basketball page is pretty much a Steph Curry page? Your Baltimore brand, why is Will Barton not featured more? Why is it that y'all didn't want to do anything with Javante Davis until he became a champion? Like, you got to back your community before they get popping, if you really can.
Yeah. Like UA should be the one. I guess, like what you're saying, UA should be the one pushing them to that national platform before they get there.
Right. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, but aside from them, like UA aside, Rudy Reparo, I got that out of nowhere. Like that wasn't like planned out. I legit was at work one day. I came across the page. They had a thing in which you can call them or like send an email. But I got I called and their receptionist picked up the phone, was like, yeah, so and so's out of the office. You had a cell phone number, right? I was like, nah, I got a new phone. I mean, I got that number again. Straight line, you feel me? So got this number, talked to him, and the next day we had a deal. So he, gave us the uniforms at a great price that we can afford and make it affordable for the league and all that. And we had a great relationship since then.
That's respect. Like, and that just speaks on like how the league. Like again, I really loved how like you put everything on the Brunson page. Like I know that sounds so simple, but it takes it a lot further than what most people think. Like just having the visuals, whether it's a video, a picture, something that took it. I feel like that's what made it grow so fast for sure.
Yeah. And then speaking of video, what up, Drew? My guy.
Drew, what's up? Drew be on here next week. We got Drew next week.
Oh, I'm tuning in there. But yeah, as we talk about video was my man Kendall. Like he was the first videographer to pull up. Our Fan Eye Sports was the first videographer to pull up, and he's the reason that I had visuals. He introduced me to my guy Pettis, with the Pitch League. Well, I'm sorry, I did that on my own, but he helped build it as far as our games and having the visual for that. That's how I got to meet Sam and expand from there. Like I went down to Goodman, he introduced me to Miles. When I met Miles, he told me about Drew. I'm like, man, like if it wasn't for him, a lot of stuff would happen in my league as well. So when people always want to say, like, oh, got out the mud and self-made, yeah, we are self-made to a certain extent. We all have help, and he's been one of my biggest helpers.
Yeah. Nah, fan out of he respect. He always show love, no matter who. He show love. It's kind of weird, like some people don't show love. Like in the media world, he show everybody love, no matter who you are.
Yeah. And he'll poke you as well if he wants to.
Yeah,
and it drives you crazy. But he got that talent with the camera. And he got a legit love for the game and love for the city. So it's been a great friendship with me and him.
That's respect. And then like just ending off on this, is there anything you can share? Is anything going to change with 2021? Anything we can look forward to when the Brunson League returns?
Nothing I'm sharing. Like as always, I got some stuff on my sleeve. But
I just tried to get the exclusive. I just had to try.
My main thing is just like I said, I'm praying that people realize how serious this is, man. Like with this whole COVID stuff, let's get these numbers down and let's get it to the point hopefully by the summer next year we can be back to normal and have everything jumping again. But as far as the actual plans for the league, yeah, I got a lot of stuff lined up. I'm hoping it all comes out and all works out naturally. So just stay tuned pretty much. Like when stuff starts to happen, of course, I'm going to be putting it out there. I'm going to post it.
Yeah, for sure. I just had to try. I just had to try. Wouldn't be a good interview. I ain't try. But Sean, I definitely appreciate you tapping in with us. Go ahead and catch that Lakers and Portland game.
I got Portland, just so everybody know.
Hey, I ain't been
talking about my guys, man. Like, look, that's a dangerous team right now. I don't know if anybody wants to play them. And the Lakers is not, the Lakers from the regular season, not having, A.B. Bradley, which is major. And people don't realize how big of a deal that is. Yeah. But that's a totally different team when you got Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum being guarded by Alex Caruso. Like, that's a problem.
Hey, man, I'm a Lakers fan, and I hit up all of my other friends as Lakers fans, and I was like, man, Caruso is the guy y'all talked about, and he ain't doing nothing but running around out there for 30 minutes.
Yeah, man. And KCP got to make some shots, and Danny Green.
Yeah, like they really just out there getting cardio. Like they need the Nike app and just get it in, but they got to do something.
It's terrible, man. Like Bron gonna need some help, So hopefully he get it this game. Because if not, you down 0-2. It don't matter who you are. That is a big hole in the playoffs, man.
Yeah, first round too. That's tough.
Yep.
But Sean, definitely appreciate you again, man. You enjoy your evening.
Yeah, you do the same, bro. I'll definitely talk to you soon, and hopefully see you next summer.
Oh yeah, fact. I'm gonna be there. You know I'll be there.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right.
What up, Troy?